Thank you, Vice Chancellor, and welcome to all of you who are here today. And I believe my job was to say how Spark started, so I might just do that. I think it started over coffee with one of my colleagues, Murray Height, who's not in the room, and he told me about this program called the Pirate Program, which ran at MIT. It was run by postgraduates for postgraduates. There were no staff involved. And essentially, it was so successful that every person who went through the Pirate Program became an entrepreneur. And we went through the list of all the people and the companies they created, and I thought, this is pretty cool. How can we do something like that? And then I went to Stanford to see a program called Spark at Stanford to see how it ran. And I came back and told the Vice Chancellor, it will not cost much, and it won't disrupt the world. And can we start it? And thank you very much for letting us start. And so when we started, it was very scrappy, and my colleague Chris Thompson and I were the only mentors. We ran it on a Facebook page. Refreshment meant Mars bars, none of that wine and cheese that you got out of it. And basically it was very, very scrappy. But it's a startup, and so our job was to get a minimum viable product out and then improve from there. And what you see now is exactly the startup journey that all of you are going through as you build your businesses. So a year later into the program, I think Daisy marched into my room with a list of things that Spark was doing wrong. And I said, fantastic, you're hired, fix it. So I think fix it is really the motto of Spark, right? What we want you to see is find a problem and fix it. I don't mean like in a hustle kind of way, but in a proper way. What is the best minimum viable product you can produce for that solution you can provide within budget and within time. That's what startups are about. And then if they don't work with any of those parameters, you need to pivot, you need to change the problem, you need to find something else. And that's what we hope to teach you through this particular program. So it's a very, what we wanted to create is a framework within the university where people can learn how to fail. Because we're not set up to fail, right? Like the whole of the university structure is about creating us to learn and pass exams and get PhDs and so on and so forth. So this was it was the opposite of all of that, and we wanted to create an environment where it's okay to fail, and then we'll teach you how to use that failure to go to your next idea. And so that's what, so in that sense, it's kind of low regulation, but you don't get credit for it. You don't get, marks for it, but that's what we want. We want passion from you so that you want to do the stuff in spite of the fact that you don't get credit and you don't get, and we might over time have sort of credit assignments, but the initial idea of Spark is you're here because you want to do it. So we always, and I think we still do, run it on weekends, run it on evenings, stuff which is outside the normal curriculum, if you like. So there's another aspect of Spark I want to mention, which is we decided not to take any equity for our investment, our small investment into your work. And what is the reason for that? And the reason for that is we believe, first of all, we think there's too much overhead in trying to do it for the amount of investment we're making. But more importantly, what we hope is that you become ambassadors of this program and give back to the program as you become successful. And I hope that that will happen. That would be the greatest benefit that the Spark program can give back. And we already have that. We have mentors. Many of you are mentors for our program. Many of the alumni are already contributing both in terms of mentorship, in terms of specific advice on very, very nuanced aspects, and also providing avenues for venture capital that we have. Our last judge was Caitlin, and she runs a $50 million fund for women entrepreneurs based at Shanghai. So we hope that more, and she's a Deakin alumni, right? So we hope more and more people will give back to us and mentor these wonderfully creative young people that we have in the room, and see that even if this particular idea doesn't succeed, what we want to teach them is the way to go again and again and again till you become the Googles and the Facebooks of the world. So, in conclusion, I just have to say that I'm very proud of Spark, and thank you to Daisy and the wonderful team that's done the work. Thank you to all the mentors in the room. I know the initial payment was just coffee, but hopefully, thank you very much for all your support and work that you have done. And lastly, thank you very much to the Vice Chancellor, because without you, I don't think we would have a program at Spark. So thank you.